Egyptian is the oldest known language of Egypt and a branch of the Afro-Asiatic language family. The earliest known complete sentence in the Egyptian language has been dated to about 2690 BC, making it one of the oldest recorded languages known. Along with Sumerian, Egyptian was spoken until the late 17th century AD in the form of Coptic. The national language of modern-day Egypt is Egyptian Arabic, which gradually replaced Coptic as the language of daily life in the centuries after the Muslim conquest of Egypt. Coptic is still used as the liturgical language of the Coptic Church. It has several hundred fluent speakers today. Classification: the Egyptian language belongs to the Afro-Asiatic language family. Among the typological features of Egyptian that are typically Afro-Asiatic are fusional morphology, consonantal lexical roots, a series of emphatic consonants, a three-vowel system, AIU, nominal feminine suffix *at, nominal m, adjectival *r, and characteristic personal verbal affixes. Of the other Afro-Asiatic branches, Egyptian shows its greatest affinities with Semitic, and to a lesser extent Cushitic. In Egyptian, the Proto-Afro-Asiatic voice consonants *dzth developed into pharyngeal, e.g., r, t, portal, sem. *dalt, door. Afro-Asiatic *l, merged with Egyptian n, r, and j in the dialect on which the written language was based, while being preserved in other Egyptian varieties. Original *kgk, palatalized to tjd in some environments and are preserved as kgq in others. Egyptian has many biradical and perhaps monoradical roots, in contrast to the Semitic preference for triradical roots. Egyptian probably is more archaic in this regard, whereas Semitic likely underwent later regularizations converting roots into the triradical pattern. Although Egyptian is the oldest Afro-Asiatic language documented in written form, its morphological repertoire is greatly different from that of the rest of the Afro-Asiatic in general and Semitic in particular. This suggests that Egyptian had already undergone radical changes from Proto-Afro-Asiatic before being recorded, that the Afro-Asiatic family has so far been studied with an excessively Semito-centric approach, or that Afro-Asiatic is a typological rather than genetic grouping of languages. History: scholars group the Egyptian language into 6 major chronological divisions. Archaic Egyptian language, Old Egyptian language, Middle Egyptian language, characterizing Middle Kingdom, and continuing on as a literary language into the 4th century AD. Late Egyptian language, but starting earlier with the Amarna period. Demotic, Coptic. The earliest Egyptian glyphs date back to around 3300 BC. These early texts are generally lumped together under the general term Archaic Egyptian. They record names, titles and labels, but a few of them show morphological and syntactic features familiar from later, more complete texts. Old Egyptian is dated from the oldest known complete sentence, found in the tomb of Seth-Perobsen and dated to around 2690 BC. Extensive texts appear from about 2600 BC. Middle Egyptian was spoken from about 2000 BC for a further 700 years when Late Egyptian made its appearance. Middle Egyptian did, however. Demotic Egyptian first appears about 650 BC and survived as a spoken language until the 5th century AD. Coptic Egyptian appeared in the 4th century AD and survived as a living language until the 16th century AD, when European scholars traveled to Egypt to learn it from native speakers during the Renaissance. It probably survived in the Egyptian countryside as a spoken language for several centuries after that. The Bohairic dialect of Coptic is still used by the Egyptian Christian churches. Old, Middle, and Late Egyptian were all written using hieroglyphs and hieratic. Demotic was written using a script derived from hieratic. Its appearance is vaguely similar to modern Arabic script and is also written from right to left. Coptic is written using the Coptic alphabet. a modified form of the Greek alphabet with a number of symbols borrowed from Demotic for sounds that did not occur in contemporary Greek. Arabic became the language of Egypt's political administration soon after the Arab conquest in the 7th century AD, and gradually replaced Coptic as the language spoken by the populace. Today, Coptic survives as the liturgical language of the Coptic Orthodox Church and the Coptic Catholic Church. The Bible contains some words, terms and names thought by scholars to be Egyptian in origin. An example of this is Zaphnath Paneah, the Egyptian name given to Joseph. Dialects. Pre-Coptic Egyptian does not show great dialectal differences in the written language due to the centralized nature of Egyptian society. However, they must have existed in speech. This is evidenced by a letter from c. 1200 BCE complaining that the language of a correspondent is as unintelligible as the speech of a northern Egyptian to a southerner. Recently, some evidence of internal dialects has been found in pairs of similar words in Egyptian, which, based on similarities with later dialects of Coptic, may be derived from northern and southern dialects of Egyptian. Written Coptic has 5 major dialects which differ mainly in graphic conventions. Most notably the southern Siddiq dialect, which was the main classical dialect, and the northern Baharic dialect, which is currently used in Coptic church services. Orthography. Most surviving texts in the Egyptian language are primarily written on stone in the hieroglyphic script. However, in antiquity, the majority of texts were written on perishable papyrus in hieratic and demotic, which are now lost. There was also a form of cursive hieroglyphic script used for religious documents on papyrus, such as the Book of the Dead in the Ramesside period. This script was simpler to write than the hieroglyphs in stone inscriptions, but was not as cursive as hieratic, lacking the wide use of ligatures. Additionally, there was a variety of stone-cut hieratic known as lapidary hieratic. In the language's final stage of development, the Coptic alphabet replaced the older writing system. The native name for Egyptian hieroglyphic writing is Shn Medontr, or writing of the words of God. Hieroglyphs are employed in 2 ways in Egyptian texts: as ideograms that represent the idea depicted by the pictures, and more commonly as phonograms denoting their phonetic value. Due to the fact that the phonetic realization of Egyptian cannot be known with certainty, Egyptologists use a system of transliteration to denote each sound, which could be represented by a uniliteral hieroglyph. The 2 systems which are still in common use are the traditional system and the European system. In addition, a 3rd system is used for computer input. Phonology. While the consonantal phonology of the Egyptian language may be reconstructed, its exact phonetics are unknown, and there are varying opinions on how to classify the individual phonemes. In addition, because Egyptian is also recorded over a full 2 millennia, the archaic and late stages being separated by the amount of time that separates Old Latin from modern Italian, it must be assumed that significant phonetic changes would have occurred over that time. Phonologically, Egyptian contrasted labial, alveolar, palatal, velar, uvular, pharyngeal, and glottal consonants, in a distribution rather similar to that of Arabic. It also contrasted voiceless and emphatic consonants, as with other Afroasiatic languages. Although exactly how the emphatic consonants were realized is not precisely known. Early research had assumed opposition in stops was one of voicing, but is now thought to either be one of tenuiser and emphatic stops, as in many of the Semitic languages, or one of aspirated and ejective stops, as in many of the Kurt-Getic languages. Since vowels were not written, reconstructions of the Egyptian vowel system are much more uncertain, relying mainly on the evidence from Coptic and foreign transcriptions of Egyptian personal and place names. The vocalization of Egyptian is partially known, largely on the basis of reconstruction from Coptic, in which the vowels are written. Recordings of Egyptian words in other languages provide an additional source of evidence. Scribal errors provide evidence of changes in pronunciation over time. The actual pronunciations reconstructed by such means are used only by a few specialists in the language. For all other purposes, the Egyptological pronunciation is used, which is, of course, artificial and often bears little resemblance to what is known of how Egyptian was spoken. Consonants. The following consonant system is posited for Archaic and Old Egyptian, with IPA equivalents in square brackets where they differ from the usual transcription scheme. Asterisk. Possibly unvoiced adjectives. The phoneme L did not have an independent representation in the hieroglyphic orthography, and was frequently written with the sign for N or R. The probable explanation is that the standard for written Egyptian was based on a dialect in which former L had merged with other sonorants, was rare and also not indicated orthographically. The phoneme J was written as J in initial position and immediately after a stressed vowel, as JJ word medially immediately before a stressed vowel, and as null word finally. In Middle Egyptian, a number of consonantal shifts took place. By the beginning of the Middle Kingdom period, Z and per second had merged, and the graphemes S and Z were used interchangeably. In addition, J had become word initially in an unstressed syllable and following a stressed vowel, the got apis. In late Egyptian, the following changes are present. The phonemes DDG gradually merge with their counterparts TTK, TD often become TD, though they are retained in many lexemes, becomes, and TRJ with become, at the end of a stressed syllable and eventually null word finally. More consonantal changes occurred in the first millennium BC and the first centuries CE, leading to the Coptic language. In Sahadic HHH merged into S and H. Bohairic and Acmimic are more conservative, having also a velar fricative, X. Pharyngeal asterisk merged into glottal, after having affected the quality of surrounding vowels, is only indicated orthographically when following a stressed vowel, in which case it is marked by doubling the vowel letter, e.g., acmimic, XOP, Sahadic and Lycopolitan SOP, Bohairic SOP to be less than HPR, W asterisk, Chi-Apror, has become. The phoneme B probably was pronounced as a fricative beta, and became P after a stressed vowel in syllables which were closed in earlier Egyptian. The phonemes DGZ are only found in Greek borrowings, with rare exceptions triggered by approximate N. Earlier asterisk DDGQ were preserved as adjective T, C, K, K in pre-vocalic position in Coptic, despite the fact that these were written using the same graphemes as for the pulmonic stops. Their existence may be inferred based on the following evidence. The stops, PTCK, were allophonically aspirated, PTCK, before stressed vowels and sonorant consonants. In Bohairic these allophones were written with the special graphemes, while other dialects did not mark aspiration, thus Sahadic versus Bohairic, the sun. It then may be observed that Bohairic does not mark aspiration for reflexes of older asterisk DDGQ, e.g., Sahadic and Bohairic asterisk dib, horn. Similarly, the definite article is unaspirated when a word beginning with a glottal stop follows, e.g., Bohairic plus greater than. The account. The consonant system of Coptic is as follows. Asterisk various orthographic representations, see above. Vowels. The following is the vowel system posited for earlier Egyptian. Vowels were always short in unstressed syllables, long in open stressed syllables, and either short or long in closed stressed syllables. Late New Kingdom, after Ramses II i.e. c. 1200 BC, asterisk a greater than asterisk o, e.g., HRW, Horus or asterisk HRUW, greater than asterisk ho-re. This provoked asterisk u greater than asterisk e, e.g., SNJ 3 asterisk UNJ greater than asterisk eni. Early New Kingdom, short stressed asterisk I greater than asterisk e, e.g., MN nj, mens asterisk, mar nij, greater than asterisk, mar ni. Later, probably circa 1000 to 800 BC, short-stressed asterisk u, greater than asterisk e, e.g. dn, t, tanners asterisk, junat, was borrowed into Hebrew as asterisk suen but later transcribed as shei, nu, sara, nu in the Neo-Assyrian period. Unstressed vowels, especially after the stress, became asterisk e, e.g. nfr, good, asterisk, nafur, greater than asterisk, nafe, asterisk I, greater than asterisk e, next to, and j, e.g. ww, soldier, asterisk, yiw, greater than asterisk, we. In Sahadic in Baharic Coptic, late Egyptian stressed asterisk a becomes asterisk o, and asterisk e becomes a, while in the other dialects these are preserved. E.g. sn asterisk san, brother, greater than sb son, alf san, rn, name asterisk rin, greater than asterisk ren, greater than sb ran, alf ren. However, SB preserve asterisk a, and Fayumic renders it as e in the presence of guttural fricatives, e.g. db 10,000 asterisk bar, greater than sal tba, bt bar, ftbe. In acmimic and lycopolitan, asterisk a becomes o before etymological, e.g. jtrw, river, asterisk jatraw, greater than asterisk yara, greater than saor, bior, ior, ior, fiaal, iaar. Similarly, the diphthongs asterisk, aj, asterisk, or, which normally have reflexes, oj, ow, in Sahadic and are preserved in other dialects. In Baharic are written oy and ow respectively, e.g. to me, to them, seroi, eru ow, alarari, ara, efale, elor, beroi, eru ow. Sahadic and Baharic preserve asterisk e before, e.g. sb ni, to you, less than asterisk net, less than asterisk nick. Asterisk e may also have different reflexes before sonants, in proximity of sibilants, and in diphthongs. Old asterisk a surfaces as u after nasals and occasionally other consonants, e.g. ntr, god, asterisk nakar, greater than nute, nute, u, has acquired phonemic status, as evidenced by minimal pairs like to approach, hon, hoen, less than asterisk California nan, hnn versus inside, houn, huen, less than asterisk California nor, hnw. Etymological asterisk u, greater than asterisk e, often surfaces as I, next to r, and after etymological pharyngeals, e.g. sl here less than asterisk chi ur, street. Most Coptic dialects have two phonemic vowels in unstressed position. Unstressed vowels generally became e, written as e or null, but pretonic unstressed a occurs as a reflex of earlier unstressed asterisk e, in proximity to an etymological pharyngeal, velar, or sonant. Or unstressed asterisk a. Pretonic I is underlyingly ej, e.g. s, ibis high boy less than hbj, w asterisk hij bar j, with. Thus the following is the Sahadic vowel system c. 400 AD. Phonotactics. Earlier Egyptian had syllable structure CV, where V was long in open, stressed syllables and short elsewhere. In addition, syllables of the type 105 C or CVCC could occur in word final, stressed position. However, CV-C only occurred in the infinitive of biconsonantal verbal roots, and CVCC only in some plurals. In later Egyptian, stressed CV, C, CVCC, and CV became much more common because of the loss of final dentals and glides. Stress. Earlier Egyptian, penultimate or ultimate. According to some scholars, this is a development from a stage in Proto-Egyptian where the antepenult could be stressed. This was lost. His open, posttonic syllables lost their vowels. e.g., asterisk chi-up-ir, greater than asterisk chi-up-or. Transformation. Egyptological pronunciation as a convention. Egyptologists make use of an Egyptological pronunciation in English, in which the consonants are given fixed values and vowels are inserted in accordance with essentially arbitrary rules. Two consonants, aleph and the ayin, are generally pronounced. The yud is pronounced I, and w, u, between other consonants, is then inserted. Thus, for example, the Egyptian king whose name is most accurately transliterated as Ahmuz SW is transcribed as Ramesses, meaning, Ra has fashioned him. In transcription, a, I, and u will represent consonants. For example, the name Tutankhamun was written in Egyptian twtnhi Minnesota. Experts have assigned generic sounds to these values as a matter of convenience, but this artificial pronunciation should not be mistaken for how Egyptian was actually pronounced at any point in time. For example, twtnhi Minnesota is conventionally pronounced 210 kmen in English, but in his time was likely realized as something like asterisk tawtanxumrn.